All right, continuing on with the notes. Some of you guys, when you were in eighth grade, you had to recite this at graduation. Some people didn't. I did when I was in eighth grade, and when I was a student teacher, those students had to do it as well. It's called the preamble. And a preamble, it's basically a statement that sets forth the goals and purposes to be served by the government. And it reads as this: We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Now, in a nutshell, if you were to break this down, it basically says that we are trying to be the best country there is, uh, a more perfect union. We're trying to do better than we were before. Now, I know a lot of English teachers really don't like that, a more perfect, type of thing, but we're trying to say we're trying to do better, always trying to be the best, always trying to do better, to establish justice so that there's, peace and fairness, for the common defense, to promote the general welfare of the people, to make sure everyone's fine, that we're doing okay, that our citizens are, doing well, and to secure the blessing of liberty so that we have our freedoms, and to basically we're saying this to the world, we're putting it on paper, and we're letting the King of England and letting them know, hey, we're gonna be on our own, and this is how our government's gonna be. So the law and the Constitution. The Constitution provides the supreme law of the land. It is seen as a superior binding force for us all. You know, it gets its authority from the people, right? We say, yes, this should be a law, or we appoint people who represent us to say, yeah, this should be a law, and things like that. It serves as an extent and limits of the government's power as well as the rights of the citizens. So basically, it's laws for our government, what they can and cannot do, and as well as for us, what we can and cannot do. Now, the thing is, I know some people, some students were telling me, the law is a joke, because look at these celebrities, they can do whatever they want, nothing happens to them, but some, average person, has, you know, does something minor and then they get set up for jail for a long time. I get it, that the justice system is not as even and as balanced as it once was or meant to be. I do understand that, but the thing is, that's what we should strive for, is to be that country where laws are equal for everybody, regardless of your social status, your celebrity, or your wealth. Yeah, it should be fair. If you commit the crime, you know, shouldn't matter who you are. You should pay for that crime the same as everyone else, which I would agree. Yes, I know it sucks, but there's no way I can win that argument because I agree. All right. So, if you remember from the warm-up picture, there was the picture of the elephant and the donkey. Now, the elephant was shattered, the donkey was kind of like in puzzle pieces, and it was a little separated. Now, the thing is, the Constitution doesn't say that political parties can't be formed, but it also doesn't say that we need them. Okay, the two major political parties are the Democrats and the Republicans. Now, the Republicans are the elephant, and the Democrats are the donkey. Now, the thing is, you have to remember this: they're not the only political parties out there. Yes, they're the two biggest ones, and they're the ones who make the most noise. But there are other political parties, such as the Tea Party, the Libertarian Party, the Independent Party, the Socialist Party, the Constitution Party. I mean, there's so many parties. The Libertarian, I can't remember if I said Libertarian or not. But the thing is, there's quite a bit of them. So if you're thinking about joining a political party, don't just look at the top two. There's other ones that might share exactly what you feel. Okay. Now, politics is basically when people gather to protest or voice their approval or disapproval on government issues. Okay. Um, Now, here is where you see a lot on the news. It's because issues arise when one group people want things their way, and the other group says no, you know, and it contradicts the first group's wants. Um, and that's the thing that is going on right now in government. It's gotten to the point where before, believe it or not, the Democrats and Republicans used to basically work together, come to a compromise on things. So they both wouldn't get exactly what they wanted, but they were satisfied with what they had that they can agree on. And it's gotten to the point now where it's kind of like it's either yours or mine, and that's it. You know, there's no compromise, and that's what's really wrong with our country. That's why we're not getting things done. And as we go through if you remember from U.S. history, we talked about the compromising, especially at the beginning of our country. You know, there were compromises from both sides. You know, just talking about the 35th. You know, don't. How do you think the those people felt that the free people? You know, did they really want to count slaves as less than people? No, you know, they didn't. But they didn't want the South to have political power, too much political power, and then all of a sudden they can keep their slaves. They can do all kinds of stuff with, you know, that they want. So they had to fight them on that. You know, even though it kind of hurt what they believed in. You know, they believed in that slaves should not be slaves and that they should have rights. You know, and how do you think the other side felt that they didn't get their slaves to count as complete people, but they got them as 35ths, so they were happy with that. You know, so both sides didn't get exactly what they want, but they were both happy with what they had, in a sense. So that's what I mean. We were not like this always. Okay, guys, just remember that. All right. So now to this last part, which is the special interest group. Um, you have to remember that in the preamble, it mentions that the part of the government's job is to promote the general welfare of the public. That's to make sure that we're all doing fine, that we're not being hurt, you know, that we're doing well. The problem is that the founding fathers believed that the government should help all people instead of just one particular group or person. Okay, they were fearful that that might happen, that the people elected, that the government would basically help out just those who, you know, could pay a little extra to senators and representatives and judges and who finance the president's campaign and oh now I need a favor type of thing. They didn't like that. You know, that's not the purpose of the government. Is not to help the wealthy. It's to help everybody. You know, not to help the powerful, but to help the poor, the ones who are downtrodden. They're part of this country too. Get them up, and this country is going to be amazing. Um, Now, many believe that the general welfare is being exchanged for the desires of the special interest group. So a lot of times nowadays, it's corporations. You know, they have some issues with zoning laws, things like that. They have some issues with, let's say, toxic waste. You know, they don't know where to put it. So they might bribe people. They might send these lobbyists to senators, congressmen, take them out for dinners, paying for vacations, and that's where you hear a lot of why politicians get in trouble. It's because of these lobbyists. Um, People find out that the reason why this company was able to get away with it because the senator signed off on this stuff, and then they find out that some lobbyists came over and bought them a bunch of dinners, took them out places, paid for the vacations, you know, help finance their reelection, things like that. And that's where a lot of times there's issues and problems, and that's why people a lot of times don't trust politicians because they put these groups of people, or this one person in particular, ahead of them, the voters, you, you know. So that's the thing. That's what they're really like, the politicians get a bad name. It's because of things like this. So if you look at that political cartoon, um, it's pretty interesting. And I didn't notice this until one student told me, if you look at the bottom of the toilet paper, the very last sheet, there's like a little kiss mark. And if you notice where those guys are, it says Dems, which is Democrats, and GOP, which means Grand Old Party, which is the Republicans. And if you notice the lobbyist person, where does he have them? In his back pocket. And if you know the meaning of that term, you'll know the significance of that. Okay. Okay, so I thought I had a question for you guys at the end, but I guess I didn't. So that's it. So make sure your name is on the paper, your notes, and then when you come into class, be sure to turn that in, turn it into the basket near the door, the black basket, and that's it. Okay. Hope to see you guys in class, and have a good day.